Secrets in the Penthouse. The city skyline glittered like a cruel promise, casting its glow through the floor-to-ceiling windows of the Manhattan penthouse. Inside, Claire Dawson sipped her wine, her emerald eyes fixed on the horizon. To the world, she was the perfect wife, elegant, poised, the arm candy of tech mogul Ethan Dawson. But tonight, her fingers trembled as she typed a message on her phone, her manicured nails clicking softly. "Who are you texting, Claire?" Ethan's voice cut through the silence, sharp as the glass in her hand. He stood in the doorway, his tailored suit pristine, his gaze colder than the marble floor. Claire's smile didn't waver. "Just a friend, darling," she said, slipping the phone into her clutch. But Ethan's eyes lingered, heavy with suspicion. What Claire didn't know was that Ethan had already seen the messages. What Ethan didn't know was that Claire's secret was far bigger than an affair. And what neither of them knew was that someone else was watching, waiting to tear their perfect world apart. Tonight, in this penthouse, a truth would unravel that would leave no one untouched. Can you handle what's coming? Ethan Dawson wasn't a man who trusted easily. At 42, he'd built a tech empire from nothing, his app Nexus revolutionizing how people connected online. His wealth bought him everything except peace of mind. Claire, 15 years his junior, was his prize, his proof that he'd won at life. They met at a gala 3 years ago, her laughter like music against the clink of champagne glasses. 6 months later, they were married. To the tabloids, they were New York's golden couple, untouchable in their 50th floor kingdom. But Ethan wasn't blind. He'd noticed the changes in Claire over the past year. The late-night work calls she took in the guest room. The way she'd linger at the mirror, not in vanity but in distraction. The password she'd added to her phone. At first, he dismissed it. Stress, he told himself. Claire ran a boutique PR firm, her days filled with influencers and deadlines. But doubt had a way of creeping in like damp rot in a perfect house. Last week, he'd done something he wasn't proud of. While Claire slept, he'd borrowed her phone, cracked the passcode, her birthday, predictably, and found the messages. They were to someone named L. No last name, no profile picture, just a number. "Can't wait to see you tonight. Same place. Miss you already. Be careful." Ethan's blood had boiled, but he didn't confront her. Not yet. He needed proof, something undeniable. So he'd hired a private investigator, a grizzled ex-cop named Malone, who promised results within days. Claire, meanwhile, moved through her days with practiced ease. She kissed Ethan goodbye each morning, her perfume lingering like a taunt. She attended brunches, charmed clients, and posted curated glimpses of their life on Instagram. #PowerCouple, #living the dream. But behind her smile, her mind was elsewhere. That morning, as Ethan left for a board meeting, Claire stood at the kitchen island, scrolling through her phone. The penthouse was silent, save for the hum of the espresso machine. She opened her messages, hesitated, then typed to L. "He's asking questions. I need to be careful. Can we meet sooner?" The reply came instantly. "Tonight, 8 p.m. You know where." Claire's heart raced. She deleted the thread, her fingers shaking. She wasn't just hiding an affair. She was hiding a truth that could destroy everything. Ethan, meanwhile, sat in his office downtown, staring at a photo Malone had just emailed. It showed Claire slipping into a dive bar in Brooklyn, her designer coat out of place among the neon signs. A man waited at the door, tall, unshaven, in a leather jacket. They didn't touch, but their familiarity was unmistakable. Malone's note was blunt. "She's meeting him again tonight. Want me to follow?" Ethan typed back, "Yes, and get me everything." Back at the penthouse, Claire prepared for her evening. She chose a black dress, understated but sharp, and packed a small bag. Nothing suspicious, just a change of shoes, a scarf. As she applied her lipstick, she caught her reflection in the mirror. For a moment, she didn't recognize herself. "Where are you going?" Ethan asked, stepping into the bedroom. He was home early. Claire didn't flinch. "Dinner with a client," she said, meeting his eyes in the mirror. "You know how it is." Ethan nodded, his jaw tight. Have fun, he said, but his voice carried a warning. As Claire left, the elevator doors closing behind her, Ethan pulled out his phone and dialed Malone. She's on her way. Don't lose her. Brooklyn was a different world from Manhattan's polished streets. Claire stepped out of her Uber, the neon glow of the bar, the rusty anchor, flickering above her. She glanced around, then slipped inside. The air smelled of stale beer and regret. At a corner booth, the man from the photo waited. His name was Lucas, though Ethan didn't know that yet. Lucas wasn't what you'd expect. Not a slick playboy, not a corporate rival. He was an artist, his hands stained with charcoal, his life a patchwork of gigs and dreams. Claire had met him 6 months ago at a gallery opening she'd organized for a client. His work, dark, haunting portraits, had stopped her cold. They'd talked for hours, and something in his unguarded honesty had cracked her carefully built walls. They weren't lovers, not in the way Ethan feared, but they were something else. Something Claire couldn't explain, even to herself. Lucas knew her in a way Ethan never had. With him, she wasn't the perfect wife, the polished PR queen. She was just Claire, flawed and searching. Tonight, though, their meeting wasn't about art or connection. Claire slid into the booth, her voice low. He's suspicious, Lucas. I found a tracking app on my phone. Lucas leaned forward, his brow furrowed. You think he knows? Not everything, Claire said, but enough to ruin us. Lucas reached for her hand, then stopped himself. You don't have to do this, Claire. You can walk away. She shook her head. It's not that simple. You know why? Across the street, Malone sat in his car, snapping photos. His camera caught Claire's tense expression, Lucas's clenched jaw. To Ethan, these would scream guilt. Malone texted him, "They're talking close. Looks personal." Ethan, back at the penthouse, paced the living room. He poured a whiskey, the glass trembling in his hand. He wasn't just angry, he was unraveling. Claire was his anchor, his proof that he wasn't the cold, controlling man his exes had called him. If she was betraying him, what did that say about him? He opened his laptop and logged into the penthouse's security system. He'd had cameras installed last month, telling Claire it was for safety. Now he rewound the footage, watching her morning routines, her late-night calls. One clip caught his eye, Claire in the study opening a locked drawer. She pulled out a folder, scanned it, then hid it again. Ethan froze. What was she hiding? He grabbed a screwdriver from the kitchen and headed to the study. The drawer was locked, but he pried it open, his heart pounding. Inside was a manila folder, unmarked. He opened it and found bank statements, emails, and a photo of a young girl, maybe 10 years old, with Claire's eyes. What the hell? Ethan muttered. The statements showed transfers, hundreds of thousands of dollars, to an offshore account. The emails mentioned the girl and keeping her safe. His phone buzzed. Malone again. She's leaving the bar, heading to a motel. Ethan's mind spun. An affair was one thing, but this money, secrets, a child? He grabbed his coat and called his driver. Take me to Brooklyn. Now. At the motel, Claire and Lucas sat on a creaky bed, fully clothed, a laptop between them. Claire typed furiously, pulling up encrypted files. If Ethan finds this, it's over, she said. Lucas nodded. Then we move faster. Get her out before he does. Claire's eyes softened. She's all I have left, Lucas. I can't lose her. Outside, Malone watched from his car, unaware of the truth. To him, this was just another cheating wife, another paycheck. But when Ethan's car pulled up, Malone tensed. This is gonna get messy, he muttered. Ethan stormed into the motel, his face a mask of rage. He didn't knock. He kicked the door open, startling Claire and Lucas. Ethan, Claire gasped, slamming the laptop shut. You lying? Ethan's voice broke, his eyes wild. Who is he, Claire? And what's this? He threw the folder at her feet, papers scattering. Lucas stood, hands raised. It's not what you think, man. Shut up. Ethan snapped, stepping closer. I saw the messages. The bar. This dump. You think I'm an idiot? Claire's mind raced. She could lie, play the victim, buy time. But the folder changed everything. He knew too much or thought he did. "Ethan, please," she said, her voice steady despite her fear. "Let me explain." "Explain what?" he roared. "That you're cheating? That you're stealing from me? Who's the girl in the photo?" "Claire." Claire's breath caught. The girl. Her secret wasn't an affair. It was her daughter, Lily, hidden from the world. 10 years ago, before Ethan, Claire had been a different woman, trapped in a toxic relationship. When she escaped, she'd left Lily with her sister, swearing to keep her safe from her past. But last year, threats had resurfaced. Her ex had found her, demanding Lily back. Claire had been funneling money to keep her daughter hidden, working with Lucas, who wasn't her lover but her ally, a hacker who'd helped her stay one step ahead. "Ethan, she's my daughter," Claire said, tears falling. "I never told you because I was protecting her." Ethan laughed bitterly. "Your daughter? And him?" He pointed at Lucas. "What's he protecting?" Lucas stepped forward. "She's telling the truth. I'm helping her keep Lily safe. That's all." Ethan's fists clenched. "Safe from what? Me?" "No," Claire whispered. "From someone worse." Before Ethan could respond, Malone burst in, gun drawn. "Enough of this," he growled. "I'm done playing messenger." Claire froze. "Who are you?" Malone smirked. "Your husband's not the only one paying me, lady." The twist hit like a freight train. Malone wasn't just Ethan's PI. He was working for Claire's ex, the man hunting Lily. Ethan had been a pawn, his jealousy weaponized to lead Malone straight to Claire. "Drop the gun," Lucas said, stepping in front of Claire. Malone laughed. "You're in over your head, kid." Ethan's mind reeled. "You played me?" he asked Malone. "Business, Dawson. Nothing personal." Claire saw her chance. She lunged for the laptop, smashing it against Malone's arm. The gun fired, grazing Lucas's shoulder. Chaos erupted. Ethan tackled Malone. Claire grabbed the folder, and Lucas stumbled, blood soaking his shirt. "Run!" Lucas yelled to Claire. She hesitated, then bolted, clutching the folder. Ethan pinned Malone down, his rage redirected. "Who hired you?" he demanded. Malone spat blood. "You'll find out soon enough." Claire didn't stop running until she reached a safe house Lucas had set up. Her hands shook as she opened the folder, checking the documents. Lily's photo stared back, her daughter's smile a reminder of why she'd fought so hard. She dialed her sister. "Is she okay?" "She's fine," came the reply. "But Claire, you can't keep running." "I know," Claire said. "I'll fix this." Back at the motel, police swarmed the scene. Malone was cuffed, Lucas was in an ambulance, and Ethan sat on the curb, his world in pieces. He'd been wrong about Claire, but the truth wasn't easier. She'd kept a daughter from him, a life he'd never known. When Claire returned to the penthouse days later, Ethan was waiting. Not with anger, but with questions. "Why didn't you tell me?" he asked, his voice raw. "I thought you wouldn't understand," Claire said. "I was wrong." They stood in silence, the skyline glittering behind them. Their marriage wasn't perfect. It never had been. But maybe, just maybe, it wasn't over. As Claire walked away, her phone buzzed. A new message, from an unknown number. "You can't hide her forever." She froze. The fight wasn't over. What would you do to protect the ones you love? Subscribe to Secrets and Sins for the next shocking truth.